when you win it, you know, you feel you're part of the history of the game, and that's gonna stay forever. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tournament that is very unique to all the tournaments in the rest of the season.
The Colombian cannonball, he's made history! First Egyptian lady ever to win the British Open, the most prestigious title on the PSA World Tour. All the emotion is there, quite right now, it's wonderful to see.
Of course, I mean, being coach under Jonah, once I arrived here to England, you know, he won it 6 times. He never actually lost the final as well. He always spoke to me about those finals he had with Jeff Hunt. And I remember when I won it the first time, it was 2014 or 15, I think. And I said in my interview, I spoke to him literally on the phone before I had the trophy, and he told me you still have 5 more to go. And and of course now with Palmer as well, he won it 4 times. So I can't can't hide from the fact that 2 of my main coaches won it 10 times both together, and so I'm trying to have it 2 times now, and hopefully I can come a bit closer. And but yeah, it's just as I said, it's a tournament that has so much history, and when you just win it, you're just part of the history of the game forever now.
ElShorbagy's made history. He really has. He's just taken the most prestigious title on the PSA World Tour as he collapses on the ground. What a performance from this young Egyptian. It was a brutal battle, a real seesaw backwards and forwards. Well, he needs some rest, Shorbagy, that's for sure. He's going to be very, very emotional with this title. That means a lot.
Yeah, the first one, it was 2015 one. I remember I had a bit of a tricky draw. I had to play James first round when he was coming back from his injury, and then I had to play Borja and Rosner and Nick in the semi, and then Greg in the final. I remember it was the season where I got to #1 for the first time, and it was my first season to play all the tournaments to reach the final. I played all the finals of the big tournaments that season, and including the World Champ, and it was the last tournament of the season. And I remember I was the thing that I had to do behind the scene, not to show anyone, was quite incredible actually, because I was going through exhaustion at the end of the season, and I remember I was finishing the match, literally running away back to the hotel. I was quite emotional in my room. Lots of emotions was going on in the room. I was always feeling, very shaky before I sleep every night. I had to get physios almost the whole day, every day. Actually, Maurice, Nicole David Physio, was working on me a lot during this event because I had few things going on as well behind the scene. I had something that happened during my first round with Wilstrop, where I had a bad slip, and when I had Borja in the second round, I was quite shaky on going into some of the shots he was playing me at, and I won 3-2, just won 3-2.
Well, it's the same, it's a repeat. There's going to be a no-let.
No-let.
That's an outright winner from ElShorbagy.
7 match to ElShorbagy, 3 games to love.
So ElShorbagy looks up to the heavens, hangs on for dear life. 67 minutes of a very tense round 2 match. Gets past Borja Golan, 4-11, 11-8, 11-6, 1-11. 11-7, 3 games to 2.
And then I remember Jonah. I was speaking with Jonah after the match, and I was telling him, "Oh, I have this issue happening with me during this tournament, and had that bad slip. I don't know what I was supposed to do." And then he told me he told me one thing that I remember that was the reason of why I won this tournament. He told me, would you rather, it was the last tournament of the season, so we had the summer break, and then he told me, would you rather live injured after this event would you rather carry on play this tournament and take a bit longer break than how you're supposed to take care of that injury that you're having right now, but live with the fact that someone else is going to hold your trophy and look at that picture forever, or play this tournament and maybe you're going to get this injury a little bit worse and take a little bit of a time off after the event, but you're going to hold that trophy. Which one are you going to choose? And I told him I'll choose to hold that trophy and be a bit more injured than if I stop now. And from that moment, I completely forgot about the injury. And when I was playing the final against Greg, Greg was playing unbelievable squash. I won the first game, then I got chopped in the second and the third. And once I went off court, I told my mom, get me phone on the phone right now. And I spoke to John and I told him I don't know what to do. The guy is just doing everything. He's like, everything I'm doing he has an answer to. He's like, I have no solution. How am I gonna beat this guy? And then he told me, listen, if make it like a boxing match, hit and run. Just hit the ball hard and get everything back. And if he's gonna win 1 point from you, it has to be after, like he needs to die for it. And I took the tape off. I was like, it's fine. I'm just gonna take the tape off. Whatever happens, happens. And I literally fought for my life. Every single point. That fourth game, I was literally hitting the ball hard, just getting everything back. I was not even using my brain. I was just using all my strength to just try and get out of this match and try to win the last point. Got that fourth, and then I think I had him physically after in the fifth, and I won the tournament. And a lot of emotion during this event was happening. Definitely, it was one of the toughest tournaments I've won in my life. It was a big thing to finish that season on a high, because I have done I have done an unbelievable season that year, the 2014-15 season. I had a great season. But I think always it says a lot about your character when you actually do a good season but don't finish it on a high. I think it kind of showed a bit of weakness always. I feel when an athlete I've seen a lot of athletes who start the season very, very well, very strong, came out of the blue, do lots of shocks in matches. They beat a lot of great players, but then at the end of the season, it's like they had enough. You know, it's like they just want the season to end. It's like they don't have enough energy in their tanks anymore to finish the season. You know, and it's tough. The end of the season is actually brutal. Everyone wants it to end. Everyone is just literally mentally they're actually exhausted. Everyone thinking already about where is gonna be our beach holiday. But I think there are very few athletes who, when they have an amazing season, these athletes who finish it on a high as well, they kind of push themselves over the limit at the end of the season. It says a lot about them as a character to actually stay strong, because these are the athletes who would have played more matches than everyone else. They played more finals, and their body is going through a lot of niggles.
Championship ball down. It's a safe one, straight into the side wall. Be careful with those cross courts, for sure. Oh, wow.
Decision, sure.
Well, I think this could be a no-let.
No-let.
He's going to go for a view.
Sure on the no-let decision.
Well, I think he slightly grazed himself on that dive. It was an unbelievable get. He's come into action, come to life from your short. But could it be too late? Well, there's the... Oh, I don't know, actually. Oh, this is a big decision. I mean, it landed second bounce.
What do you think then?
Yeah, I think it's. I think this should be a let.
I think that's a let ball,
yeah,
actually.
It should be a let.
Well, it's a no-let. It's
no
confirmed as a no-let.
Decision upheld. 11-9. Championship to ElShorbagy. 3 games
the number 2 for Mohamed ElShorbagy in this British Open.
2 titles.
The year after, when I was 2016, it was another big thing for me as well, because that season I didn't start the season very well. I started losing the US Open. I lost the world champ. I lost the world #1 for a month, and then I had 6 straight World Series events where I won 6 straight. And the British was I think the 5th, because we had, I think the British was in March of that year, and then we had the Gona after. The Gona was the last one that season, and then going into that British, I think the draw was not as tough as the year before. But I think what people don't realize sometimes, that even if the draw is not as tough as the year before, you still mentally it's not that easy, because you would have played a lot more matches than everyone. You're going through much more fatigue than the rest of the players. But at the same time, it is, as I said, it's what it takes to be at the top, is that you don't give these things as an excuse, and actually always tell yourself, this is what I live for, and that's what I always dream to be in that position where I'm supposed to be fatigued at the end of the season. I'm supposed to be playing more matches than everyone else. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge tournament to try and win it back to back. It's a tournament that had the most history in our sport. It's of course been won by all the greats of squash, and all the greats of squash didn't win it just once or twice. They won it many times, and to be able to win that trophy is something that no one can ever take that away from you. It's stay there forever.